Hi everyone, my name is Edouard, I'm the co-founder of Mention. Please excuse my French accent because Mention is a French startup. I just arrived from Paris 2 days ago. Let me just ask you a question. Like usually when we do this kind of pitch on stage, we get a lot of mention on Twitter, sometimes on forums, sometimes some photos are posted on Instagram. If we are lucky enough, we will get some good blog coverage. And how would you gather all this information posted on social networks, on web, news sites? The answer is really simple. You're going to use Mention. So let me just quickly walk you through the product demo. So basically, Mention allows anyone to monitor in real time its name, its company, its brand, its product, its competitors, or any industry trends. All those keywords that we are looking for and that we are monitoring brings results that are gathered in real time within the application. But on top of that, what we want to really have is to make this information actionable for any of our users. Within Mention, you can connect as many Twitter accounts, Facebook accounts, or even more some buffer accounts that you want to have, and you will be able to react in real time to any mention that our tool has gathered for you. We know that in some companies, and especially some big companies, all those media monitoring and marketing stuff has to be done collaboratively. So within Mention, you can add all your team members to dispatch the information, and you can ask your team member, you can assign tasks to your team member, and you can ask them to do some specific action on the content that we have found. And last but not least, we provide some analytics to give you some insight and valuable insight on the evolution of your brand reputation, sentiment analysis. We provide you also the distribution per sources, per language. You are an international startup and you do your monitoring in different languages, and we provide you insight on the days that your audience is the most engaged. So Mention is available today on every platform. We have a web app, we have a desktop app, we have iPhone app, we have Android app, and we are happy to announce today that our iPad app is in the App Store, and it was validated like two hours ago. A little bit about the company history. So we launched in Paris back in March 2012. We introduced monetization in December last year. We raised a seed round of 800K with European investors back in March. And since then, we are constantly growing by 30% a month. Last year, at the same time, we had like 100 customers, and we managed to onboard 2,500 businesses since then. We do already 50% of our revenue in the US, strange enough for a French startup, and we're gonna hit the 1 million run rate next month. So we have a very simple business model. We provide Mention with a freemium business model. And we scale as our clients grow. So when you are a small startup or a freelancer, you might not pay for a service like Mention. But as your online presence grows, your monitoring will become more professional. And then that is where Mention provides you some premium features. We are targeting small businesses. And today we have clients ranges for the really small businesses to big businesses. We have startup on board. We have political people on board. We have companies like GitHub using Mention. 30 people at GitHub are using Mention every day to provide support on Twitter. And we have companies like the Home Depot. We have developed only proprietary technologies. So we use a combination of in-house crawling technologies and search APIs. We also provide some filtering options because like exhaustivity is a deal, but filtering the information, and especially when you want to monitor a keyword like Mention, which can be the hardest name to track online. So we are able to filter the information and to prioritize this information. We monitor the web and social networks, so we have basically 8 categories of information. We monitor more than 500 million website today, and we are adding more and more sources every month, and we do that in 42 languages. We have a very experienced founding team, both experienced in the software industry. We have also some founders who have extensive entrepreneurial successes. We have Thibaut Elzière, who is the founder of Fotolia, a company today valued more than 500 million. And we have 3 investors coming from Paris, from Berlin and Brussels, and we are lucky enough to have the first investors in Zendesk at the board of Mention. We are not raising cash today, but we are considering doing a Series A in the coming months. And we are also starting US operation. We just hired our first employee in New York. Last and least, do not hesitate to mention us. We make sure that we will find all your mention on Twitter, on blogs and forum and Instagram and everything. And you can find us at mention.com.
Thanks, Edouard. Questions? Who's got them? Tell us a little bit about what it's like being a European founder in San Francisco. Is this where you're raising money, and what's the investment scene like comparatively, and how do you feel like what's the energy of the startup scene in Paris right now?
I mean, the energy on the startup scene is really good. The ecosystem is not as active as it is in the US and especially in the Bay Area. But there are some good successes coming from Paris. The last big one is Criteo. You might probably have heard of this French company. We was just going for IPO like 2-3 months ago. We have company like Deezer. We have company like Dailymotion. So the startup scene in Paris is quite good. And I think with Mention, we are pretty confident that we can build successful entrepreneurial startups coming from Paris. Of course, the US is a priority market for every startup. But I'm pretty confident that we can build some cool startup out of Paris.
Are you hiring?
We just hired, and we are looking for growth hackers, either in San Francisco or in New York.
All right, if you guys know growth hackers, let them know. Other questions? Tell us a little bit about who your main competitors are.
We have competitors on the enterprise side, but this is definitely not our focus. There is out there a company like Radiant6 or Sysomos, and they provide really professional monitoring services for enterprises. And our vision is really to democratize and make accessible technologies and powerful technologies to small and medium businesses. We have a kind of competitor which is called Google Alerts, but everybody knows that Google Alerts is a little bit crappy out there. Yeah. So I would say that on the small and businesses segment, we have an opportunity.
Questions from the audience? Is this the kind of service that ultimately is going to eliminate like half of my social media marketing team so that I don't have to have some intern scouring and sending long emails of all these reports of where you show up? It just all comes into one feed?
Yeah, I mean, the first users in a company is a marketing team, but we are seeing more interesting, and more and more interesting use cases. We have some tech teams following some specific industry trends, thanks to Mention. We have some sales team trying to identify sales leads through Mention. We have students looking for jobs with Mentions. So our company-wide penetration is becoming more and more large within organization, and we believe that monitoring, and that's our vision, we want to make monitoring not only for marketing people, but also for every team within a company.
Do you make any of your data publicly available? Do you share any of the analytics and metrics that you're finding as you're bringing all this together?
Not really, but we have an API which is public, and we have already today 200 companies using our API, so either for their own usage or reselling our API within their product. So we are not really sharing information on the keyword and on the alerts that our client monitors, but we provide our API publicly.
What sort of companies or brands are using it, and do you know how they're using the API?
We have company like Brand.com, which is an online reputation management company. We have HubSpot using our API. So we have this kind of company using our API for gathering data.
Other questions? Thanks so much, Edouard.
Okay, thank you.